So our next guest, Florence
Oh,
Ann Romano.
Florence, we are
So
so
she's an
happy to host
incredible
you.
soul.
Hello,
Hello, my
Florence.
darling.
Hello.
Hello.
Happy to be here. Oh my goodness.
Happy.
Oh,
Thank you for joining us. You are an expert in childcare, and you bringing the generations together. So we're very happy that you're
oh,
here. Very
so
happy.
happy to host you, Florence. So happy. We love you. We love you.
You're
We
going to
love
make me
you.
dirty, making me cry. It's just the beginning. Oh my
That's
gosh.
great. We don't need to cry.
I know. Oh my gosh. I'm so thrilled to be here. This is such an honor. And as I've been watching these amazing people and I see all the amazing people to come, I keep thinking, what am I doing here? What am I doing here amongst these amazing people? So I'm so honored. And my history with children is, I feel, the richest part of my life, my soul. I was a nanny for over 15 years, and I took care of loads of children, and they all live in this very sacred part of my heart. And after I retired from being a nanny, I decided that the child care crisis in America today was going to be my platform. That's what I wanted to get behind. I wanted to try to find a solution to that. And when we started talking about me coming on here today and talking about mental health and suicide awareness, I kept thinking about the work that I've done with these children and these families and how much I have seen from a really intimate perspective and how much they have taught me about the importance of mental health and the role that we adults play in forming this world, this healthy world for our children. If you can believe it or not, over 64% of families in America today have a caretaker, someone else other than the parents taking care of their children. And when I heard that statistic, the first thing I thought was, what's going to happen on the other side of this statistic? Are these children going to be better or worse off being cared for by someone other than their parents? What is that going to look like? And how do we make sure that's going to be a positive solution, a positive statistic on the other side? And so I started to think about what we can do to make sure that that happens. And my role with children on the other side of being a nanny was to find out how to make this trifecta work, as I like to say. It's this trifecta of parents, children, and caretakers. And when you look at that, I think, oh my gosh, the responsibility, the privilege to be taking care of children when they are the most innocent, when molding their minds and their worlds and their imagination and their self-esteem, that is so important. So we have to really take seriously the people that we put in children's worlds. Who are their role models? Because that's going to affect their mental health, their emotional health. So my platform with helping with the child care crisis or alleviating it or solving it, it passes through 3 gates. I always talk about building a village, that a village is so important. We love that phrase, right, of a village, you need a village to survive. Well, I always laugh because I talk to parents on a daily basis and they're like, Florence Ann, where's my village? Where's the phone number for the village? I don't know how to get to the village. You have to help me. And so that was my goal, was to help them figure out who's in their village. And it's about the quality, not the quantity of the people that they're surrounding themselves with, because those people are going to influence not just the children, but you, the adult too. It's about the influence of everyone, because that's going to affect how you influence others by the company you keep. So you be careful about who that village is. And the second, asking for help. Asking for help is something that is a big foundational, I'd say, brick. If we're building a house here, a brick that we have here that we're using. And this idea of asking for help, there's so much shame that comes with that. I don't just see it with parents and children. I see it in the world today. And with mental health, I think to myself, my goodness, we live in such a different world today where we can ask for help. And there is no There's not as much shame attached to that. But when I talk to parents and children about asking for help about raising their children, that to me is so important, because you're acknowledging that you don't know all the answers. You shouldn't know all the answers. That's why we are a whole community of people, a whole tribe. We are here together in service of others, in service to each other. And asking for help is the first step to making yourself a substantial and important and beautiful guiding light for people in their life. And the third is to let love in. You know, we live in a world today where you hear, you know, more love, less hate, more love, less hate. Love. I can't think of anything else that you can't have too much of, right? It's love. Love is one of those things that, you know, that phrase, everything in moderation. Well, love, no moderation there. Let's pack on as much love as we can get, because children are better off for love, as much love as they can get. We adults better off for as much love as we can get. And what I want people to understand too about this idea of letting love into your life, you want children to feel that love, but you also want to feel that love, and you want to teach love and teach people how to be able to accept love. But here's my question for people. How can you teach love if you don't know it? You can't teach what you don't know. So you have to find the time to have that self-discovery, to have that self-awareness, that evaluation of, who am I? What do I want my contribution to be to this world? What's the vibration that I'm going to try to live at and then continue to build? So this idea of the mind, soul, body connection, I believe so deeply that that's where mental health starts. It starts in the sandbox, guys. It starts when these kids are little and innocent, and you can mold them and not make them be who you want them to be, but give them options, show them the world, encourage them to use their imagination. You know, I always say that one of my favorite quotes and a philosophy that I truly live by is Maya Angelou's. You know, people are going to forget what you said. People are going to forget what you did, but they're not going to forget how you made them feel. And feel is the operative word there. Mm-hmm. I want to challenge people right now, when you are feeling so lost and so isolated, about how can you make other people feel right now. I always tell my friends, you know, when you're having a rough day, what you should do is text message or call someone and make their day. Don't concentrate on your sadness. What can you do to help someone else? Because I'm sure someone else out there is having a rough time too. So this idea of feeling being the operative word, you control who you talk to, who you influence. It's your choice to make someone feel good or feel bad. And when we are talking about mental health, where people are struggling so internally, the best thing in the world you can be for somebody is a safe place, is someone that is going to help them figure out how they feel, the origin of their feelings, and how to help guide them towards a positive outcome, and just make them feel like they're not alone. You have a choice about making people feel empowered, making them feel valued, making them feel safe. What's the alternative? You make them feel scared, make them feel ashamed, make them feel devalued, make them feel broken. My challenge is to take the time to step back and see how you can form your words to match up with your heart, match up with your mind. Let it pass through that gate first before you let it out. If you can show children that this is how you should start to build your emotional language, your emotional health, I really believe we will be a better world if we can speak an emotional language to each other, where we really are creating that opportunity.
But this is the reason why, to develop those qualities that you develop, and it's very brilliant what you say, but the foundation of that, it's to calm the mind. Because especially for the children and everyone, we have the responsibility to talk quietly to everyone. Because if there is no calm, there is no foundation.
So
We can talk during many hours, but the most important, the foundation of all, when we talk to a child or to Gabriela, to you, to anyone, to our organs, our organs are our family. So the most important is to calm the mind, because we cannot give love, we cannot create a village, we create nothing if we are not calm. So what you say, it's extremely important. And to develop those qualities, as you say, and we are so happy to have you, Florence, with your amazing fire,
Yes.
beautiful energy. It's beautiful. We love you, Florence.
I love you guys.
You are so precious in this world, but in complementary with what you say. And Gabriela also, you come from a spiritual life. It is very important to calm the mind. So the question for us after it's how to calm the mind. How is it possible in this world?
Right.
We know when we develop our program for the prisoners of Los Angeles, and Gabriela comes many times with me to do that every week. As the prisoners say to us, if you say to us, take a deep breath, count your breath, you are not respectful. You don't realize our life is difficult. So it is not, we are in a moment, people are extremely tired, exhausted, COVID-19, whenever. So to calm the mind, it's not by an exercise, it's by your energy. So it's very complementary with what you say, because when you talk to a child, if your brain is running all the time, as explained the person by telepathy, the expert just before, the child, the brain of the child is also running all the time. All is interconnected. All is telepathic. In Buddhism, we say all is interdependent.
Yes.
Science proves today what we know in Buddhism since the beginning of the time. But it is very important, in complementary with what you say, so important to never forget the foundation of all, to calm the mind. If the mind is not calm, nothing is possible. It's just a beautiful talk.
Absolutely.
It's a talk for nothing in reality.
Right.
So it is very important. I say that because when Gabriela, she's facing the prisoners in Los Angeles, Gabriela, you came with me with the lifers, prisoner incarcerated for all the life. Okay? They are incarcerated 40 years. At the moment Gabriela starts to talk to them, beyond what she says, there is the calming energy that Gabriela shares with her heart to each of the prisoners. So immediately we tune the mind of those people on a quiet vibration, and after they can develop exactly what you say.
And it's so beautifully said about that calm place that you have to come from. It's, that old saying of mind over matter. That's really what we've now evolved that phrase to really mean, is that calm state. And, everything that's going on right now, you really do have to calm the mind, try to control the mind, and figure out your emotions and get everything to sync up. And that's hard work.
I love when our friend Punacha Machaya, Punacha will be with us in a few minutes, but I love when Punacha say to be a warrior monk. It is very important. To be a warrior, it's to calm the mind.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Florence.
Thank
and
you,
it was
Florence.
lovely. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was great. I just want to conclude by one thing, just to say I have a bunch of girlfriends, and we're bringing up our children as single moms. So, we're beacons of light. I just wanted to say that all the single moms out there who are bringing up their children, we're bringing up incredible beings for the future to save humanity. Yes. And we're going to make sure they're never alone.
That's right. Let them breathe fire, Gabriela. Yes, that's what I want.
Thank you.
I love you, Florence.
I love you. Thank you. Blessings to you. Love and light.
Thank you.
So beautiful.